Hey everybody, welcome to Monday's live stream. As always, this show is going to be live at the moment, and we'll be chatting with actual people, and we'll spend the first few minutes saying hi and welcoming everybody. So if you're watching the playback, feel free to skip ahead to where we get started. Camera's gonna shake. Miss Lilo is a little bit crazy today, so we might have a shaky camera. She's just up and down. So if you are watching the replay and you want to keep up with chat as well, there will be an option for live chat replay, and then you can click on that. And then also, if you want to see all of the live comments, click live chat rather than top chat, which is what it starts you out on. So just wait for a few people to join here, get my stuff situated. I wasn't quite prepared. I had to spend a little bit of extra time making more hot chocolate. My goodness, girl, you're crazy. I made hot chocolate for myself and my little one. I went to take a sip of his to see if it was cooled off enough for him to drink, and the milk was sour that I put in it, so I had to restart. You are gonna be trouble, I can just tell. You know that? There must be something in the air here because both these cats are just psychotic today. Come here. Come here. Whoop. Goodness. Your tail is lethal, you know that? Okay, bye. Okay, 2 seconds, guys. I'm just gonna get her some food. Oh, can I go to water too? Can we use some of that? Okay, here's some water. No, you're not hiding in the cupboard. No, Lilo. You're not going in there. I get some food. So welcome everybody joining. My YouTube app keeps giving me errors here, so just 2 seconds while I try and get back on here. Okay, how is everybody today? I don't know if anybody's chatting. I can't see it. Either that or you guys are all very quiet today. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. Okay, my YouTube app keeps crashing, so let me just update it quick here. So today we're going to be continuing in Jasmine Becket-Griffith's coloring book, and this is her first one, A Fantasy Art Adventure. And we started this one in here last Wednesday, and I'm not 100% sure what I want to do next on her. Let's see, hopefully YouTube won't force close now. Oh, it actually let me on chat for once. Thank goodness for updates. Hi, Victoria. Thanks for joining, hun. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. As always, want to make sure we've got that extra piece of paper back there to keep our pencil pressure from marking up the pages behind. And I don't know, what should we do today? There's a few things that I'm certain on colors. Of course, the grass is going to be green. This paper, I'm thinking of like an aged yellow kind of paper. I'm not 100% sure about her dress yet. I was thinking black, but there's going to be so much black in here already that I'm not sure. Hi, Jody. Thanks for joining, sweetheart. Hopefully you're doing good today. It is -26. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. My guess would probably be like 7 or 8 degrees. Actually, let's see. I'm going to cheat and use Google. What is the exact temperature right now? Yes. -26. Oh, in Fahrenheit, that's -14 degrees actually. So yeah, it's pretty cold here today. It was colder yesterday though. But we've got these big fluffy snowflakes falling and it looks pretty even though it's freezing. Hopefully it's warmer where you guys are. I don't know, what do you guys think? Should we start on the skin or start on the background? The background we'll probably use acrylic paint for. Then we can go in and add details. Because then I like using acrylic paint because we can kind of make it like an ombre and we can make it actually glow around the moon a lot easier. Okay, Victoria votes skin. Now I just need to think of what type of skin should she have. I'm thinking kind of pale. I mean, it's nighttime. She's kind of got this goth vibe to her. Yeah. Cold is definitely not nice. Sorry, that doesn't sound like you're feeling too good then. I hope you're feeling better. Hi, Casey. Thanks for joining, hun. Oh, that's exciting. I'm happy to enable. Especially with Jasmine's books. They are gorgeous. Like, I love Hannah's books, but Jasmine's books are just... Hannah's is like a little bit more cartoony and like cutesy, and then Jasmine's are more like... They're still kind of cartoony, but they just seem a lot more sophisticated to a degree. Not saying anything negative about Hannah's, but they're just very different but very similar at the same time. And I'm never too worried about coloring Hannah's images, even if they're my favorite, but Jasmine's, on the other hand, they're very intimidating. Okay, see, that's what kind of confused me. I'm like, what are you saying? That's awful, hon. I hope you feel better. It's the same here, Victoria. And I'm in Alberta, and actually farther up north, because we're pretty close to the border. So farther up north, it's even colder. I couldn't even imagine. Hi, May. Thanks for joining. Okay, I'm not going to flip through my combinations book, but I'm going to go through my color record book here and just see if I can find the type of skin that I'm looking for. I'm thinking kind of a blue base to it. I think I used one on a different Jasmine curl. Let's see here. I don't know where it would be though. Okay, Okay, so these are the colors I'm going to grab out. I'm going to grab Blue Violet Lake. If I can find that. There we go. Lavender. Light peach. Cream and white. And I can't exactly remember the order that she used these pencils. This was from Shine Bright Designs, Teo over there. She did this on Jeweled Octopus, but she used Holbein's. So these were the similar colors that I used in the Prismas. And let's give her kind of like a purpley kind of blush. Not too purple. Let's go with, I'm thinking Black Cherry. Oh yeah, definitely know all about the cold. Oh, thanks, Casey. I appreciate that. Hi, Julia. Aw. It's awful, Jody. Probably doesn't help with having the minis around you, huh? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in here. The phone's pretty dark, so I can't really see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, I'll start on her face. Get my pencils in line here and my sharpener out. I'm just going to grab out that picture that I used the skin tone on for reference. So it was this one here. It's really, really close up. But you can kind of see that it's like a really pale skin tone. So I'm thinking that that should go very good on this girl. Thanks, May. The eyes are definitely the best part of that, and it's such a large scale picture that you have so much area to work with. The detail is amazing. Teo absolutely does amazing. If you guys do Jasmine Becket-Griffith, I definitely recommend visiting her channel. Again, she's Shine Bright Design on YouTube, and she is insane. She's also, I believe she does portraits and stuff in real life. She is an artist, job-wise, I think. Or at least on the side, so she definitely knows what she's talking about. I'm not sure what pencils are in the 132 set, but my usual go-to skin is Parma Violet, Nectar, peach, light peach, and white, I think. And then I usually use processed red or some kind of pink for blush. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the Blue Violet Lake first, I think. And we're going to start putting in these shadows. So I'm going to kind of pretend that there's light coming at her pretty much in the center. So it's going to be like face on, or head on, I mean. But she's also got that light behind her from the moon as well. I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow here for her Cupid's bow and a little bit underneath her nose. And then for the most part, I'm just going to go around her face. Because if she's got light coming straight on at her, you want a little bit of shadow where her face is going to curve, and that's going to create that 3D look. So right now I'm just using a really light pressure. You guys might not even be able to see the colors showing up. Okay, and I think rather than adding the bridge of her nose, I'm gonna do what Teo does, and what she usually does is she just kind of creates this kind of indentation between the eyes to kind of create basically the top bridge of your nose where it like curves in, and then there's your forehead, and here's Miss Lilo. So shuff this, your camera's gonna shake. Hi Judy, thanks for joining. So I'm just creating this kind of small patch of blue, pretty much directly between the eyes. Because her face is turned a little bit, I am slanting it just slightly upwards. And then we can just kind of fade out from that on both the top and the bottom. I'll hold my page closer to the camera so hopefully you guys can kind of see. I don't know if that's showing up. It's very, very, very light. But now that I've got those shadows in there, I will come in and darken it up a little bit. So now I'm moving using kind of a medium pressure. And then fading out from it. Oh, are you ever gonna stop moving? Okay, do you want me to move this for you? Here. If I move that, you can lay down or just jump down. Okay, see you later. She'll be back. Oh no, Judy. Hope your adulting isn't too bad. Casey, May is commenting with her channel, so if you want to click on her profile picture, you can click go to channel and go subscribe to her. Hi Becca, thanks for joining, hun. How are you? Bye Judy, have a wonderful day, hun. Thanks for dropping in. Hi Katrina. Hope everybody's doing good. How was your guys' weekend? It's been really cold here. Still is, but it's been really cold all weekend, so we didn't really leave the house much. And Movie Central is having a Harry Potter marathon. So each Saturday and Friday they're playing 2 of the Harry Potter movies. So that's how I spent my weekend. Looking forward to next weekend for the next 4 movies. I was trying to get Rain to watch them with me, but of course he won't. He's only ever seen, I think, the first 2. He owns all of them though. Okay, I'm going to darken up this shadow between her eyes slightly, but not very much. I don't want it to be too prominent. Oh, I'm glad you could make it too, Becca. I'm glad to hear that, Casey. That makes me super happy. Hi, Robin. How are you today, sweetheart? Yes, Jody, I love me some Harry Potter. I don't know, they're just such good movies. I never did read the book, though, which is weird, because I'm a bookworm, but... I'm doing pretty good, hun. Thanks for asking. Pretty cold where I am, so... Just a relaxing indoor day. We still have our Christmas stuff up, so maybe we'll take that stuff down today. We've been procrastinating, and I'm gonna feel bad. Oops. You're gonna feel bad when we take the tree down because Stitch loves the tree. So I think he's gonna be pretty upset. Uh-oh, is anybody else buffering? I'm not on my end. Although I know on Wednesday my phone was buffering like crazy, but everybody else said that they were fine, so it might be your YouTube app, May. I just had to update mine and the problem seemed to have stopped. Okay, next I'm gonna come in with the lavender, and I'm just gonna pull this in over top of where I've put in the Blue Violet Lake. Still sticking with that light medium pressure too. It's one thing. In almost every other book, I don't layer a lot, but in Jasmine's books, I layer a lot. Oh, that sounds awesome, May. That's good. Becca, yeah, I do. Mostly Prismas, especially pencil-wise. I do use the Marco Raffines and the Prismacolor Scholars occasionally, but not very often. Those are pretty much the only pencil sets that I have, like normal pencils. And then I do use the Inktense occasionally as well. And neocolors, watercolors, things like that. But a lot of the time I only use watercolors and neocolors for backgrounds. But yeah, I find Prismacolors work best out of what I have in Jasmine's books. I've tried the Derwent Inktense in them, and they kind of peel up the paper even if you're not rubbing a whole lot, so not a huge fan of the Inktense in these books. Hi, Shara. Thanks for joining, hun. That's okay. Lurk away, hun. That is what I do in pretty much everybody's streams. I make time for mine, which is nice because otherwise I'd probably never color. I'm so busy lately. And then everybody else's, I usually pop in, say hi, and then the rest of the time I'm usually lurking because I'm either doing dishes or laundry or painting. Thanks, Victoria. Skin is probably my favorite thing to color. I don't know why. Because it's like the most unforgiving too, but I don't know, I find it really relaxing. I think because skin pretty much makes a whole picture come alive. Even if it's the only thing that you have colored, the picture looks so much more lively, whereas if you color a whole picture and leave the skin, it just doesn't look quite so lively. What's up, sweetheart?
I agree with Daddy, Mommy, so that's pretty too.
I will think about it if I can, but it won't be today, okay?
Aww.
I'm sure you'll live.
I don't want Daddy, not doing so too. I don't want it.
I understand that, honey, and I'm not saying no, I'm just saying not right now. Love you. Oh, brat. That's awesome, May. I didn't know you fostered. Rain and I want to get into that too when Carbon's a little bit older. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the Blue Violet Lake. I want to put some shading in on her nose. And I think for the most part, it's going to be on this side. She's kind of turned away here. And then maybe a little bit on this side as well. Just a tiny, tiny hint of a shadow. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's true. He loves watching videos. He's got his own little kids YouTube app, so he can watch kid-friendly videos, and then he's always looking up games and stuff, so every time he has his phone, he's always asking me for a new game. Okay, I switch back to the lavender now. I'm just going over that Blue Violet Lake that I touched in there, and then just bringing out these shadows a little bit more with this. Yeah, that's kind of what we're thinking too. How old is your biological son? Thanks, Kana. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Okay. Now I think we grab the light peach and start going over those shadows even more. Should be able to start burnishing them with this color, I think. So now I'm using kind of a medium to heavy pressure. Just kind of fading out from those shadows. Right, Jody? Me too, but I don't think I could pull it off. I don't think I've ever had any kind of color of crazy hair. I had like really bright red once, but I think that was about as crazy as my hair got. So for now, I'm just going over the shadows and bringing it out a little bit with this and then fading it out. We still have that cream to put in too. And I'm just kind of winging it with these colors because like I said, I'm not 100% sure of the order that Teo used them in. So Just kind of using the picture that I colored with them as a reference and kind of going from there. Oh, that's awesome, May. So yeah, you would have a lot more time and energy to foster kids then. Hi, Bunny. Thanks for joining. Hi, Angia. Hope you're all doing well today. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly go over all of her skin here. Not burnishing it at all. I'm still just kind of burnishing the shadows and fading out from them. But then with that lightest pressure of fading out, I'm just going to go over everything to give it a little bit of a pink tone. I'm not going to burnish her cheeks quite yet though, because I want to add that blush in there. Hello, Miss Lilo. It's actually not too bad, as long as the only thing with purples is you have to have a color to kind of tone it down. I like to say neutralize, kind of like a color that neutralizes the purple to make it look more like a skin tone. But this skin tone, there is a lot of purple in it, so it's really dominant. You can't really tone, well, you could tone this down, but you don't really want to for this one. This one is great just the way it is. It's kind of like that pale, light reflecting kind of skin tone, I think. Again, I'm not quite burnishing her cheeks quite yet, so my pressure is a little bit softer. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we even give her blush, or should we just leave her as is and just finish the skin? I'm kind of torn. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I'm going to let you guys make most of the decisions for this piece. I have to agree. The first time that I used purple in skin, I was very worrisome about it. But I followed another one of Teo's color alongs or tutorials, and she had used purple in the skin. So of course I already seen the thumbnail, so I knew it would turn out okay if I followed what she was doing, but even then it is still a little bit tricky. They aren't, or they are, Jody. Okay, 2 for Leave It Pale, so let's do that. We won't bother putting in any blush. So, just gonna go back over this then and kind of burnish it a little bit more, just the shadows, and then fading out from them. Okay, and from there, I think we should be able to grab our cream. And I'm just very, very lightly going to start putting that in there. Make sure that this is clean. I am going to come in with the black cherry though still. I'm going to make sure it's really sharp because this page for the most part is pretty much burnished. So I'm not going to be able to add too much, but I do want to add a little bit of a very deep kind of dramatic shadow here. So I'm going to start right underneath her lips. Tiny little bit on her cupid's bow and underneath her nose. A little bit to the side of her nose. And then just very, very slight amounts just along where we put those shadows in. Not too much here, just enough for it to be noticeable. Hi, Kyra, I think. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. I don't know. I guess it would depend on what kind of coloring books you're into. Are you into coloring people or animals or places? My coloring book collection kind of is very, what's the word I'm looking for? It basically covers all of those. I do think I want to darken up the shadow a little bit under her eyebrows as well. So just at the very, very bottom of this line. Just a very thin shadow there. And then this one here, I'm just going to go back in with, actually I think I'm going to go in with the light peach. I'm just going to knock that back a little bit. There we go. There you go. So it doesn't do much, but it is effective. Well, at least it's going to make you get creative, Jody. I have heard that there's 1 or 2 different brands of hairspray that seem to be okay for using in coloring book pages. So I'm just going to soften up that shadow in a couple places. Just 'cause I want it to kind of match. I don't want it to be too harsh. And there's her face done. Now we can move on here. So I'm just going to follow the exact same steps. I'm going to start in with the Blue Violet Lake and I'm just going to put in those shadows there. So I want a slight shadow in at the top of her shoulder, well, shoulders, and for the most part the light is going to be hitting them, I think. So we want just a really, really slight shadow to suggest the curve of her shoulders rather than them just ending right there and looking flat. Sorry guys, let me take a sip of hot chocolate. My voice is getting a little crackly here. My favorite coloring books for people is Hannah Lynn and Jasmine Becket-Griffith, any of them. Although for Hannah, I'd recommend probably her first book, Mermaids, Fairies, and Other Girls of Whimsy, because it has kind of like a little bit of everything. It's very, it's like detailed in some areas, simple pages as well, and then she's got mermaids, fairies, just like a whole array of different girls. And then for Jasmine's, I'd probably recommend her first book. If you're into coloring animals, I actually don't have a book really that's straight animals, actually. I do have Anamorphia by Kirby Rosannes, but it's kind of a mixture between animals and doodles, and not a lot of people are into that, so... But if you like coloring places, I'd recommend Lizzie Mary Cullen. And then another good artist is Johanna Basford. No, it's warm chocolate. My hot chocolate made me a little bit late to start streaming because I made Carbon and I some. And then I went to take a sip of Carbon's to see if it was cooled off enough for him to drink, and the milk was sour. So I had to start over and make them both again. Carbon was like, he was in tears, freaking out because I dumped his hot chocolate down the sink, and he's like, I don't want new hot chocolate. So I made him smell the milk jug, and then he changed his mind. Thankfully, it was me that took a sip of it and not him. Yeah, I've seemed to have gotten a few people hooked on Hannah's, and I'm proud to say that. Okay, for her little fishnet gloves here, I want them to be see-through, so I'm going to go ahead and color her skin underneath. If you wanted to make them a solid color, you can go ahead and do that, but I want them to be see-through. Yeah, I do that too, Bunny. But I find usually if I take them out after like a week or two, or just whenever I get back to the book, I don't usually have a problem. I'll take the paper out and it doesn't seem to smudge. So far I've been lucky. I don't know. I didn't really like coloring people before either. I mean, I liked coloring in the Lisa Frank books, and she always did those girls with like the big hair and the big lips. They were really pretty. And as a kid, I always used to color in those. But once I got into adult coloring, I started in with Hannah's for people, and it just seemed really intimidating. My first few were definitely not the best, but I think I watched a few tutorials and that kind of helped. Hi, Becky. That's okay, lurk away. That sounds fun. I need to do that too. Kyra, in order to go live, you do have to have your channel verified. I can't remember how you go about doing that. I've been verified for a very long time, but basically I think that's all you need to do. Have your channel verified, and then when you're on your YouTube app, there'll just be like a little camera in the corner with a plus sign on it, or at least that's how it is for me on my phone. Either way, I think it should be at the top right. And you just click that and it'll give you options, and then you just click go live. Hi, Dorothy. Oh, that's exciting, Casey. I'm super happy for you. It is beautiful. Okay, I think that's good for the blue. So I'm going to grab the lavender next, and we'll just go in over top. Still with that light pressure. Just just little bits at a time. So I'm really undecided on the color of her dress. What do you guys think? It's got to be something that will go along with her purple hair. And then the background is going to be blue. I'm thinking kind of like an emerald green, but I'm not 100% sure. We could also do like a really, really dark purple. But it might be too much purple. I don't know. Yeah, Becca, watching videos definitely helps. And then I think the biggest thing is watching those videos builds your confidence. And then once you get that confidence, it's so much easier after that. Favorite coloring book. That's a tough one. That is a really tough one. I would have to say my favorite coloring book. It's a toss-up between Tattoo Darlings by Hannah Lynn and Magical City by Lizzie Mary Cullen. And that hurts my heart to pick a favorite book. If that makes sense. I feel like I'm like letting down all my other books. I love all of them, literally. Like if my art room was on fire, I would run in here to save my books. I feel like I might have said hi to you already, but if not, hi Shara. I have an awful memory, I'm sorry. That sounds super fun though. Yeah, it's tough with a little one. That's one thing. It's so nice to have a little baby, but that's one thing I don't miss is the constant waking up. That's tough on mums and dads for sure. I don't know what I would have done without my mother-in-law's help when we had Carbon. Well, we still have Carbon, but I mean when Carbon was that little. Okay, now that we got the shadows in there, I'm going to go in with the light peach. And same as we did on her face, I'm going to burnish the shadowed areas. Bring the peach out just slightly and then fade it. And when I say burnish, it's probably not completely burnished, but it's enough that the colors are blended and they look good, and then I just kind of leave it as is. So you want to lightly go over everything though, even our highlights, lightly go over them. Aw, poor guy. Carbon does sometimes. Usually only when he has nightmares, though. And he gets those night terrors where he'll sit up in bed and cry. Don't know what the heck that was. So he'll sit up in bed and cry, and you can kind of talk to him, and he'll somewhat answer back, but it's like he's looking right through you, and he's still sleeping with his eyes open. It's really creepy. It freaks me out. Hi, Kim. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I guess Rain dealt with that a lot when he was little too. He'd get night terrors really bad, so I think that's where Carvin gets it from. So now I'm just coming in with the cream. I'm going to throw this in on the highlights and just kind of lightly put it in everywhere else. I have to say, she is looking good. I really like that pale skin tone. It's very interesting skin, and I think the majority around her is going to be fairly dark, so her skin is really going to stand out. Thanks, Casey. Okay, and again, I'm going to come in with the black cherry here and just pop this in our darkest shadows. So underneath her neck for sure. On the cleft of her cleavage here. Putting in that really slight shadow. So there's this one little bit here where her hand's kind of curled over. I'm going to go ahead and color that in. And then right underneath this crow is going to be quite a bit darker too. I'm just going to take my Blue Violet Lake and just knock this one back a little bit. And back in with the black cherry. I think I want to add just a little bit of shadow on this side of the cuff of her sleeve here, just in this corner. Okay, no, I lied. Let's do a little bit underneath her necklace here. And then I think the underside of this arm and on her fingers a little bit, just to make her fingers stand out a little bit more because they kind of blend in a little too much for my liking. Okay, there we go. I like that a lot more. Oh, wow, if it makes him feel better, I'm still like that. I'm terrified of the dark. Okay, there is her skin done. It's just this one little spot here that's bugging me, so I'm going to go in with the light peach and kind of fill it in a little bit here. There we go. So I'm noticing that on camera her skin looks a little bit flat, but in person though, it's the shadows and stuff are very noticeable. So what next? Let's see. Just gonna set these pencils aside. We've got another hour. I'm thinking this paper would be a good one to start on. Just because I'm still unsure of the dress. We had one vote for dark purple and one for green. Hi, Nick and Tina. So let me go ahead and grab out some colors for that paper. Until yesterday ago. What changed yesterday? Okay, let's see. I want the bronze for sure. Or no, green ochre would be too dark. I do want a little bit of that, so I'll grab the green ochre, and that's going to be for our darkest shadows. So green ochre, bronze. Let's see, artichoke, and let's go with eggshell. And that'll hopefully give us that aged kind of parchment look. Yeah, see, that would be scary. I lived in a small town with not very many people, and it also got really, really dark there. It was really freaky at night, but the one good thing though is you could see the stars like crazy. I miss that. I love being out in the country for that. Okay. So I'm going to start in with the bronze. And we'll just work on this top bit here. We'll work on a little bit at a time. That way we don't have to constantly move the page back and forth. So for now, I'm just going to take the bronze and I'm going to outline these edges, not the top, because I feel like the light would kind of be hitting the top there. So it's going to be a little bit darker on the sides and a lot darker on the bottom here. So I'm just gonna play around really lightly with this, fade it out a little bit. I don't want too much of this color. Hey Star, thanks for joining, hun. Me too, Jody. Especially the Northern Lights. We get them pretty good here. And they are just beautiful. So sticking in with the bronze, I'm just going to go in around the edges a little bit darker, kind of a medium hard pressure. And then I don't want to bring it out too much with that firm pressure, but in at the edges, I really want to have that color show, and then I'm just going to fade it out to pretty much nothing. On this side here though, I don't want it to be too dark, because the reason the top isn't dark is because we have the moon, which would be shining on it. But then we also colored her skin as if there's a second light pointing straight at her. So that is why this side here wouldn't be very dark. We'll give it a little bit of a shadow, but just a little bit, because we've also got light hitting that. So just make sure that all of these sides are just kind of faded out, and we can just kind of slightly work in little tiny circles, very, very, very lightly, just kind of over the whole area to give the paper a little bit of textured look. Oh, thanks, Kim. Yes, a thumbs up would be muchly appreciated, everyone. Hi, Gracelyn. Yeah, you've been here before. I'm glad you made it again. Hope you're doing good today. Wow, that'd be amazing, Shara. Okay, so from there, I want to grab the artichoke. And actually, let's sharpen this a little bit, and then I'm just going to start off lightly. I'm not sure how much of this color I want, so we'll start off light and build it up. Okay, so this is just more of that yellowed tone, so I think I'm going to actually just use this to go in over top of our bronze, which will just kind of yellow it up a little bit. Kind of do the same thing, just use those small little circles, just to very, very lightly go over the center. Well, thank you. I'm pretty excited with this one. Okay, and then next in with the eggshell, and for now I'm just going to use this to burnish the shadows and come out slightly. Let's see how it's looking. We might come in with the white. I'm not 100% sure yet. So let's just bring this in slightly. Yeah, let's fade it out a little bit here. So I'm going to have it pretty much solid until about halfway up to the top, and then I'm going to start fading it out and just very, very lightly go over the top there. And then I think I do want to grab the white. We do have a Shannon that makes it every once in a while, I believe. I'm not sure if she's your Shannon, though. I assume so. I think there's only one that stops by. Okay, so just going to go in and finish burnishing this with the white. Oop, and it broke on me. Okay, so there's one bit of that. So we're just going to continue with these colors. So starting in with the bronze. Now this paper is totally wonky. It goes a whole bunch of different ways, so shadows on this are going to be tricky. And we might not get them in the exact place that they're supposed to be, or I should say that they technically should be. But as long as we just add shadows in here and there, even if they're not atomically correct, it's still going to make it look good. So I'm not going to worry too much. So again, I'm just going in lightly, putting in this color. Basically just along the edges. Well, that's good. Glad she's enjoying it. Hi, Bella. I feel like I might have said hi to you before. Maybe not. My memory is just crap today. Sorry, guys. So this is kind of a tricky one. I don't think this bit of it would be very dark. Because of course we've got the light from the moon touching on this area. And then we would have pretty much the light face on touching this whole area here. But we're just gonna make this side darker anyways. Maybe up until about here. Just because this side's kind of facing down, so the light wouldn't be hitting it quite so much. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I literally have the memory of a goldfish. I stream on Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 to 12 Mountain Standard Time, so MST. And I do stream the occasional Friday, although I haven't been lately. We've had Dev join in on lives, so he's doing lives now as well. So between Dev and then Nick and Tina, they are all on Fridays. So I might change my random stream day to maybe a Thursday or something. We'll have to see. Okay, gonna darken up this bottom bit here too. Sorry guys, let me just close my door over a little bit here. That's funny. I'd imagine though, if you'd never seen stars, it'd be hard to believe. That was always my favorite thing to do out at the farm. We'd go out in the summer and we'd lay on the hay bales. We'd bring a blanket out with us. Lay on the hay bales and just watch the stars. It'd be even better if the northern lights were out. Grace does... Yeah, Grace does Fridays. She starts at 11 p.m. my time. Or, no, sorry, 11 a.m. Oh no, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. my time, Mountain Standard Time. I see. I wrote that down wrong and then I squiggled something out. So on my chart it looks like an 11, but it's a 1 with a squiggled out number. But I don't think Grace has been streaming lately, has she? I haven't gotten any notifications from her. I do believe she works, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I do believe she's like an accountant or something for like taxes. So I think this is a busy time of year for her. Okay, I'm gonna switch in with the green ochre here, and I'm gonna put that in right underneath where this paper curves. We'll bring it down a little bit and fade it out. And then also I want to add in this color just in around her hand, just at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, it definitely was. Another thing, the lightning in the country, like thunderstorms, absolutely amazing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to everybody I'm subscribed to and re-ring their bells. YouTube's definitely been playing up quite a bit lately. Super annoying. Okay, so I just want to bring, I'm back in with the bronze, I just want to bring out this color out a little bit more. And then of course, I'm just very, very lightly, with small circles, just kind of going to fill in this whole area. Just to kind of tint it the same color so it all is cohesive. And it actually gives a really nice textured look to the paper too. I'm really liking that. Sorry guys, didn't realize that I was out of frame for a little bit there. Oh, isn't it though? Poor Sammy the other day with her live stream. Goodness. Okay, next coming in with the artichoke. And same thing, I'm just going to touch this in where we put the bronze. Which is pretty much everywhere, but a little bit darker in the shadowed areas, and then of course lighter in the highlights. Well, she started her stream and she did a giveaway for the 2 pictures that she colored in Serene. And we got through the first giveaway, she's just getting ready to do the second one, had already said go, so everybody's putting in their numbers, and then all of a sudden her sound cut out. And I'm not sure if you've been at her streams before when the sound goes out, but it's like, she's very muffled, you can vaguely hear her, and there's this really high-pitched ringing. So we had to restart the stream, and she had to redo that giveaway. And then I think she made it again to like the very end. As soon as she was just saying goodbye to everybody, it did it again. So she's had bad luck with her streams. YouTube definitely needs to get it together. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the sound is awful. Okay, now that I've got that colored in, I'm going to come in with the eggshell. Fairly heavy around the edges. And then I'm going to pull it out a little bit away from our shadowed areas. Get that color in there, I think. I'm going to pull it down to about here. So about even with this corner, I'm going to color this all in, kind of solid. And then kind of come in from the corners and edges. Fade it out. And then for the highlight, we'll just very, very lightly kind of go over it. So our highlight is right here. We're going to grab the white and then we'll just finish that out there. Thanks, Gracelyn. Becca, I've pretty much been coloring my whole life, but I picked up adult coloring in 2015, just the end of 2015. Gracelyn, yeah, I usually, the majority of the time, I am using little circles when I color. There are some times though, like for example, hair and stuff, like if we're doing hair like this, of course we're not going to use circles, we're going to use kind of like a flicking motion method, and then, I don't know, there's certain times where you want to use circles and certain times where you don't, but for the most part, how I would differentiate is if you want something to look kind of solidly filled in, you want to use small circles. Okay, back in with the bronze. Pretty much going to color this whole area in here. A little bit darker in behind this sheet of paper. Well, I guess it's the same sheet of paper, but this part of it. Hi, Selena. No problem, Gracelyn. Yeah, sure, I paint, and I do draw occasionally, not a lot, but I do like to draw. I was definitely a lot better at it when I was little though, because I used to do it all the time when I was younger. And I don't pick up a pencil very often these days. Unless it's a colored pencil. But that's okay, hon, lurk away. I hope you have a wonderful day at work. I'm gonna grab my green ochre here. So I want it darker, kind of like a backwards L shape in here. So basically along this line and along the top of this one, I want to darken that up with the green ochre. Fade it out a little bit. Same with here. Pretty much coming all the way under here. I want this to be darker. I'm not going to bring it out very much here though, it's just going to be a very sudden shadow. Fade it out just slightly. Okay, and then I think again I want it a little bit darker here. And then we can switch back to the bronze. Pretty much going to color right up to the edge with the bronze here. Leave a little bit of a highlight there. I want this side to be fairly light because again we've got that direct light hitting it. And then I want it a little bit darker on this side. Even though we've still got the moon hitting it, I want it to be slightly dark. Just a slight shadow, enough to make the paper look a little bit more interesting. So we can fade out from those shadows, and then again, just like before, I'm just going to do those small circles and just lightly go over our highlights here. And looking at this, I do think I want up here a little bit darker, so I'm going to use the bronze and just bring this down a little bit more. Oh, I'm sure it's not bad, Bella. It makes you feel better. I like her hair, but it's definitely not my favorite. I think I could have done much better at that, and you guys probably think it looks amazing. So, just gonna use the artichoke here and go over all of our shadows. It just goes to show that you are your worst critic of your art. And what you think looks bad, somebody else is going to think it looks amazing. From there we can come in with our eggshell, and I'm pretty much going to color in all of the rest of up here with that. And then, same as we've done before, we're going to come out from our shadows and fade it out. And lightly go over everything. And then we can finish that off with the white. Oh, I'll definitely be watching that bunny. That sounds interesting. I agree, Bella. Even then, I think I get like a semi-realistic kind of look, but I have yet to get that really realistic look. Sammy, on the other hand, though, her hair is amazing. Okay, last bit of the paper here. Same thing as before, going in with the bronze. It's going to be a little bit darker on this side, a little bit darker on the bottom. So you can fade out from those. It's going to be fairly light on this side, but we're going to color in a slight shadow anyways. And then it's going to be really dark here. So I'm just going to color that in with the bronze. Not completely burnished, but just a decent amount of color in there. We still want to add our green ochre to make that shadow even darker. Okay, I am pretty much going to burnish the bottom of this with the bronze. And I'm going to bring it up quite a ways just because of the way that the paper is curled. So it's going to be lightest at the very top, and it's going to be darker at the bottom and just very slowly, gradually lighten up. So you kind of want that gradual shadow here. Okay, from there I'm going to grab the green ochre. Pop some in here, maybe a little bit at the bottom and corner of this piece. And then coming in with the artichoke, just go over all of our shadowed areas. In with the eggshell. So I'm going to use this to pretty much burnish up to about here, and then I'm going to fade it out. And then we'll use the white to finish off the rest. And there's our paper. That actually turned out really good. I'm going to grab the eggshell a little bit here though, just because it looks a little bit too bumpy, so I want to soften that up. There we go. Hi, Natalie. Well, welcome. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Bella. It turned out a little bit lighter than I pictured it, but I think that's going to work to our benefit, actually. So we've got about half an hour left. What to do now? I could maybe tackle the grass. I think I should get that done in half an hour. Let's pick up some colors for that here. And I think we want the grass to be kind of a mixture of light and dark. And I'm actually going to use, I think, a brown for shadow. So I'm going to grab out the dark umber, I think, which is so small I can't read the name on it. Is that? Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, so dark umber for shadows. And then let's grab the dark green. We'll keep it very true to the green tone just because I'm not sure what we're going to do her dress. I do kind of see a cobalt kind of turquoise dress on her, or like a really dark purple, and undecided on that. So we want grass that will go with both. I don't want it to clash if we do pick an emerald green kind of dress. So we've got a dark green. Let's grab the grass green. And then maybe one a little bit lighter, maybe the true green. So just sharpen these pencils. Apparently I don't sharpen my greens a lot after using them. These are like all dull. Okay. Starting on this side here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start in with the dark umber. And just gonna kind of go in around these tufts of grass, I think, for now. I'm just gonna pop this in randomly, I think. And I'm not gonna go too dark. I want this just to be a slight shadow. So this is gonna mix with our darkest green and make it look darker, but we don't want too much. So kind of shadow in this little stool or whatever this is that she's sitting on. A little bit of a shadow in underneath the paper here. Yeah, shadows make a lot of difference, Bella. They are very tricky though, especially if you're trying to get them perfect, which I recommend never doing because then it turns out to be a mess. I just kind of try to get creative with the shadows. I'm always saying that your shadows don't have to be correct, but they just have to be in there. Because even a shadow in the wrong place is going to add more interest to a picture than no shadow at all. Okay, hopefully that's good enough for our darkest shadows. I'm going to come in with the dark green now and go over top of that. And then just kind of bring it out. I'm not too worried about making this grass look realistic. I'm just going to kind of color it, just following my gut, I guess. So basically just throwing this green in around where we put the dark umber and then just kind of bringing it out randomly. I'm trying to avoid the little spikes of these little tufts of grass here, but it's a little bit easier said than done. Well, that's where practice comes in. I don't think I'm that good at it either, but I feel like every time I do it, I get a little bit better at it. I think one thing that Sammy is doing, I'm not sure when, in the future here, I think someone asked her to show like the lighting on someone. So for example, let's say that our moon is blue and it's hitting this side of the paper, so this side would have kind of like a blue glow. I think that's something that Sammy's going to be doing a tutorial on in the future here, if I remember correctly, so I'm definitely excited for that. Yeah, and that is very true too. If you stress about it too much, it's gonna make it a lot more harder and discouraging. And you'll actually do worse if you stress on stuff. Okay, next I'm gonna grab the grass green. Actually, now that I'm seeing how light that is, I'm going to go back in with the dark green and I'm going to darken up a lot of this area even more. Just kind of randomly throwing it in there. We'll finish on this side first and then work on the other side because I keep forgetting to move the book over and then you guys can't see. Okay, so then we can switch to the grass green. For the most part, I'm going to keep this in on all of like the solid areas, so not really going in on the grass tufts just quite yet. But everywhere where it's just like normal grass laid down, go ahead and put that in. And then we can come up a little bit on the grass tufts, but for the most part, I want them to be lighter. And now I'm wondering if maybe, because I'm using paint for the background, I probably should have done the background first, but that's okay. Hi, Amberly. Thanks for joining, sweetheart. We are coloring Once Upon a Midnight Dreary from Jasmine Becket-Griffith's first book, A Fantasy Art Adventure. I was thinking that too, Lisa, but at the same time, I am terrible at doing things like that, and I don't want to ruin it. If I had like an actual stamp that I can use for that, I think I'd be a lot more comfortable doing it, but I'd have to freehand it because I don't have any stamps. Okay, I'm switching back over to the dark green. And again, I just want to darken up a lot of these areas up because I want the majority of the grass to be really dark. Okay, and then back in with the grass green. I'll pop this in around pretty much everywhere except on the tips of these tufts. Oh, thank you, Amberly. I'm excited for you guys to see how that one turned out because it looks amazing. I can't remember which part it is. I think it's part 2, where I start saying that I don't really like it. I put orange in there somewhere, and I'm not a huge fan of it until I finish it, and then it turns out really good actually. So I was doubting myself for nothing, but I usually do that, so. Just gonna add a little bit of texture on these longer bits of grass, put a little bit of extra color in there. But then, with that done, we can switch to the true green and finish off these bits of grass. And we can also use this to kind of blend and burnish anywhere that needs it. Which on my page is pretty much everywhere. Sometimes I find that the softer pencils, which in my case, this true green is softer than the other greens I've used, it seems to burnish and blend a lot better than the harder pencils do, which makes no sense. You think it'd be the other way around. That's awesome, Amberly. Definitely me. Orange and red, I find, are the 2 colors that I struggle with the most. I feel like those are colors for me that either make or break a picture. So naturally, they're 2 colors that I don't usually use a lot. I find I usually stick more to cooler tones, so I don't know if greens are counted as cooler tones, but like purples and blues, I guess there's kind of warm and cool tones of all colors, but okay, there is our grass done. I find it scary. Orange is bad. Orange was also my least favorite color growing up too, so. Okay, I think I want to finish up her eyebrows here now that we've got her skin colored in. And actually, now if anybody's following along, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to. I'm going to take in my black here and just very, very lightly put a little bit in on her eyelids here. Just to kind of simulate some eyeshadow. Doesn't make too much of a difference, but it makes a little bit. So, what colors did we use for her hair? Let me just pull out my page here. See, and that is why it's always handy to have things written down and then you know. So, you're going where? Oh, okay, good. You need one. See ya. Happy's off to get a haircut. So we're not going to be able to fit all of them in there, but we need to be able to fit enough to make it match her hair. So definitely want that black grape because that's really dominant in there. And we could probably skip the violet, I think. So let's just grab the Imperial Violet and the lavender, which we already have out. Oh no, bunny. That does not sound appealing to me. I'm sure it was really pretty, but I don't know. I don't like the color orange. Even Rain's saying in our bathroom, he wants to make like a burgundy kind of orange color for the walls, and I'm like, no, not happening. Definitely not. Okay, so I just gotta be really careful. I'm gonna start in with the black grape here, and I'm just gonna touch this in on either eyebrow. Same thing with the Imperial Violet. And actually, we might need that violet. Maybe not. Let's see here. I'm gonna go back in with the black grape. I mostly want this to be at the bottom. Maybe use this to make that little flicking motion and make her eyebrows look somewhat realistic. Well, that's good. That's all that matters, as long as you loved it. I'm not sure if I'm making this better or wrecking it. A little bit of both, I think. I need some black in there. Hey, you. Which one are you? Oh, Lilo. Hi, girl. What's up? Hello, sweetie. Oh, my baby. Can you get your butt out of my face, please? Goodness. What are you? Get your butt out of my face. Lilo. Oh, my goodness, really? We've been sabotaged. There you go, Jody. I like Bella's suggestion. Yeah, I've got so much space for you to lay down. You just have to lay down right where I'm coloring, don't you? There, why don't you lay on my lap for a minute? We're almost done, and then I can cuddle you. Ow! She does the happy dance, and she has the sharpest claws ever. Rain was playing with her last night. He was getting mad. He's so fond of Lilo. He loves Stitch, but he just adores Lilo. And she follows me everywhere. So last night I was moving stuff around, walking back and forth from the kitchen to my art room, and she was just following me and meowing everywhere I went, and he's trying to get her attention because he wanted to cuddle with her. So he goes and grabs her and looks at her, and he goes, "Stop following your mama around and cuddle me." She looks at him, she just meows and then squirms to try and get down. So then he got her playing, and she gets really spunky, and she tries to be gentle. She really does. But she has such sharp claws. She always scratches through skin. So his hand looks pretty nice today. It's so cute when they do that. I love that she follows me everywhere. It is adorable. Ow! Missy, watch the claws. Okay. I was thinking that looked awful, but it's actually growing on me. I think I like that. From a distance, anyways. Oh my goodness. You stop with the claws. So, that's what we got done today. Let's just zoom out here. Can I zoom out farther? Is that, oh, there we go. It's a little bit tricky to zoom in and out on my phone because YouTube takes up half the screen with chat. So that's what we got done. I think she's looking really good so far. Definitely loving that skin on her. She almost looks kind of ghastly. And I was going to say, Jody, my sign is very suiting for you. I should mail you this. I seen that in at the dollar store and I thought, that looks very suiting for an art room. Now I'm thinking this is suiting for you. And I'm knocking everything over. Don't mind that. Nothing broke. We're good. So I'm just going to write down the colors that we used and then call it a day. And we'll be back doing this again on Wednesday. And I'm going to guess that we probably have 2, maybe even 3 more streams to do. Oh, awesome, Graceland. I'm excited to hear that. I can't wait to see. So what is everybody working on right now? We'll chat for a couple minutes and then call it a day. What else did I use? Light peach. Yeah, I think the skin tone is one of the fewest colors that I've used on skin. But I guess we also use the black cherry for shadow too, though. Ooh, Mythomorphia. I want to work in that one again. That is my favorite out of Kirby's books. Oh, that's right. That is Sammy's hashtag. I guess this would qualify too then. Cool. Ooh, Mysteria. That rings a bell, but I can't visualize what book that is. The belongs to page is usually the page that I do first in all my books, but I haven't done it in World of Flowers yet. I'm gonna have to. I still haven't. I said last time that I was working on that Hannah Lynn page that I wasn't really fond of the way it was turning out. I'm still working on it, but I think I'm a little bit happier with it. Oh my goodness, I got cat hair everywhere. The joys of having cats. I swear, Stitch is shedding as if it was summer already. Oh, hi Cleo. Thanks for joining. I'm definitely going to be watching that, Bunny. I'm excited to see how you do that and how it turns out. Especially because I do have quite a few crayons, especially with having a 4-year-old in the house. That's what Crayola are, aren't they? They're wax crayons. I want to do, I see those things on YouTube, and I guess on Facebook. Sorry, on Facebook all the time. Those kind of little DIY decoration things. I want to try the one where they glue a whole bunch of crayons to a page and then use a hairdryer to melt them and create that rainbow kind of effect. I want to do that and then hang it up in my art room somewhere. I think that'd be awesome. But I'm just not sure what kind of silhouette I want for it. There we go. So I think next time we'll probably tackle the background a little bit. My goodness, there's cat hair everywhere. Just because I don't want to touch her wings or the birds until we have the background colored in. So, or at least the main background. Actually the moon too, we'd have to have the moon colored in as well. Which I'm a little bit nervous about. What's up, hon? Did your phone die?
No, I don't know.
I think it did, honey.
Aww.
Did you want to say hi to everybody before I say goodbye?
Hiya.
He said that he was going to come say hi earlier, but I think he got a little too distracted. Thanks, Kim and Becca. Did you have fun on your phone?
Yeah, well,
What do you want for lunch?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Oh, Kim says hi.
Hiya.
Oh, Amberly and Jody say hi too.
Hiya.
Are you going to sing for us today or no?
Like what?
You
Like
sing Twinkle Twinkle? No?
Not happening.
No, he says not happening. He is 4, but he's going to be 5 on the 22nd this month. Okay, bye, May.
Bye.
You have a wonderful day, sweetheart.
Yeah, have a wonderful day.
Oh, Nick and Tina say hi.
Hiya. You can be my girlfriend.
Oh, you want them to be your girlfriend? He's always looking for girlfriends. You're cute. Yeah, he's all about girlfriends and getting married.
Yeah, and I will marry you too.
Yeah, he wants to marry everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't ya? You're
Because
cute.
Betty one is adorable and cute.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I wish I could beat Adam how to see them. Wait, I think. Oh yeah, your friend out is far away. I think.
Yeah, probably. All around the world. He is a character.
I am.
Yeah, you are. You
Yeah.
are a little character, aren't you?
I'm supposed to be a character.
Okay, guys, that's it for today's stream. Thanks for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah.
Oh, Jody.
What?
It was cute.
What was adorable? What was cute? What was cute?
You just melt Jody's heart every time she hears ya, kiddo.
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have your day.